everyone, welcome to Lexan TV. On this week's episode, I will be featuring one of Grenada's trailblazers based in Jamaica. Now, if you've always loved being part of the creative industry, this next young woman has defied a lot of odds to get where she has to be. I'm speaking about Shaneaka Gibbs. Shaneaka, of course, started off with a love of dance and she never looked back. Here is my conversation with the talented Shaneaka Gibbs, who is blazing the trails and doing exactly what she loves to do, where she wants to be. Enjoy my conversation. Do enjoy the conversation.
Authentic Grenadian products are now only a mouse click away at grenadamarket.com. Nutmeg and guava jams, jellies and syrups, world famous nutmeg pain relief spray, black sage, soursop, lemongrass, and bois bande bar. Ordering is simple and friendly. All major credit cards accepted. Safe, secure shopping guaranteed. grenadamarket.com ships your product anywhere in the world. So when you can't go to the island, the products off the island can be sent to you. Just log on to www.grenadamarket.com and experience our quick delivery and homely service.
Welcome back. I'm so excited for this episode right here on Lexan TV. This is a conversation that I have been waiting forever to have with this truly talented young woman. She's Grenadian, Shaneaka Gibbs. She's a dancer, she's a choreographer, she's a lecturer. She's also based in Jamaica. A lot of you know that. To me and a lot of dance enthusiasts know, Jamaica, Shaneaka, correct me if I'm wrong, Jamaica seems to be the mecca for breeding top of the line creatives in terms of dance theater professionals. I talk about Jamaica and right off the top of my head, I think of Cecilia Griffith, and many other professionals that would have started humbly from that foundation in Jamaica. But Shaneaka, I'm so happy that you're finally here. Welcome to Lexan TV.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you here. I'm so happy. How you been?
I have been good. Great, actually. Grateful, I should say. Good.
I know you wrapped up something some weeks back. You were here for a workshop. We're going to get into that in a matter of moments. We're going to talk all about your wonderful journey leading up to this point. But because we're talking about dance and your profession and pursuing your passion for dance, did you ever have big dreams of one day just becoming a larger than life dance professional? Was it always a dream?
Nope. I can tell you that was far from my mind. I think somewhere in my childhood, I wanted to be a marine biologist at one point in time, then a forensic scientist at another point, and then I had solidified on being a physiotherapist as my involvement in dance grew. But what I do remember that took me through from age 4 was the fact that as a little girl, as my mother would say, I just used to like to wind up myself. Just recently, I went to the States and I saw my dad, and he was sharing the moment where my parents thought, yeah, we have to get her into a dance class. So my family is based in Trinidad, and I went down there, and he said he left me to go to get a drink with my grandmother. And music was playing, and when he's coming back, he saw a circle, a crowd being drawn. And he's now concerned because he left his little girl there, so he's filled with worry. Only to come back and see that I'm the one drawing the attention, huh? So fast forward to coming back to Grenada. My mom decided to get me into a dance company at that time, and I was under the leadership of Tahira Veg, Iceland dancers. And this is the girl who just loved to wind up herself. I don't know. I'd always say that the passion was there. Yeah. Despite the knowing the need for academia and knowing the need that I needed to be great and I need to make something of myself. Dance legit it held my hand and walked me through my path. I mean, while with Tahira, I was exposed to people like Kevin Ormsby and Patrick and Shelley Herbert from Ballet Creole. And that in and of itself continued to allow my fire to blossom. Again, not thinking that I would be here 26 years later. I remember being in Uncle Adrian's house, and that's Adrian Thomas with his daughter. And we're planning shows, and we're planning presentations that I want to do for this dance thing. But never did I think, I'd be here. In 2012, I took a trip to my family in Trinidad, and I visited the Caribbean School of Dance. And as people say, a Jambi. I don't know what a Jambi was, but I was never the most technical dancer. Yeah, I just had fire. I just had passion. And when I went away, seeing what that could do, again, in that moment, I didn't think career. I just think I wanted more. So I did that, came back to Grenada, decided to join Conception Dance Theatre because I wanted technique. They were using terminologies that I never had before, using things like turn out and développé and relevé. Remember, the language of dance is spoken in French. So this is new information to me, but somehow my being wants to soak this up. Yeah. So I went into Conception. I think I spent 2 years there. And then I said, well, my mom, who's really supportive, and my dad said, okay, how about you go to Jamaica for a summer school? I went to Jamaica, and that was the deciding factor. Yeah, at that time I was in TAMCC doing natural sciences, well on my way to this, physiotherapist life that I envisioned for myself. But in Jamaica, my experience in Jamaica, I felt not only, that fire, an ability for that fire to continue to grow, but the Jamaicans loved me on from inception. There were company directors there, and immediately just in the summer program, without any formal, like any real training, they wanted me to come back and join their company, wanted me to be around in their spaces, in their rehearsals. So that made me feel good. So I came back and I said to my mom, well, we've always had this quarrel. Yeah. And she said, a dancer's career is very short, which is what we know in Grenada. This is what the first-hand knowledge that we have. And she said to me, if I allow you to do this, you have to do a second degree for me. And that's your physiotherapist degree. That was the agreement when I went to Jamaica. I said, okay, no problem.
Hats off to you, Mommy Cheryl. That's brilliant because it really it's the perfect combo.
It is the perfect glove. But after my time in Jamaica, or during my time in Jamaica, and the opportunities I was now getting, the places I was now going, the things I was now doing, I feel like the awareness brought her some sort of comfort. And being the type of student I was, or the type of child that I am, she loosened that rein a little. She was okay with me now saying, okay, I want to do my master's in dance science education. She was okay with me saying, I feel like I want to dance for as long as I have youth. She became comfortable. So no longer did I have to go and do a second first degree, but I can now matriculate and do my master's. And the master's can go forward to a PhD if so desired.
You proved, and you had a lot of proving to do. Because let's face it, this is an industry, it's tough, and you got to crack the surface. When you crack the surface, then it's about, getting paid for getting in certain doors and be called for gigs. And so you have to work harder.
Yeah. I mean, the work doesn't stop, literally.
No, it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. What would you say was one of the most memorable lessons that you've learned, during this entire journey that continues for you?
I don't think I can pinpoint the most memorable because they all play a part, or they all are the reason I am what I am, but I'd say I take a couple things away. And even after being home right now, there's a different sort of refocus and refueling that I felt after completing the workshops. Gratitude is one. When I was leaving, I came up with a saying, but I didn't, at that point in time, I didn't think, I don't know, probably my older soul was speaking at that point in time. But it was, don't lose yourself in the journey and don't forget where you're coming from. Because I feel like, when you don't forget where you're coming from, you can't forget where you want to go. Being the type of person I am, sometimes it hinders me from living in the moment because I'm so focused on where I want to go. But I can tell you, after feeling what I would have felt after coming home this last time, I can't forget where I'm coming from, and I cannot not be grateful. There can't be any sort of ungratefulness coming from me.
And that's a perfect segue because I want you to touch a little bit on also your experience with the workshop. I know you had one of your associates, friend, fellow dance tutor travel with you on this journey. How was that experience for you?
I feel like the word that I left the process with was not overwhelmed, but filled. Yes. Ideally, my now colleague 4 years ago or 5 years ago, she was my teacher. So never did I think we'd be here. She was one of the hardest teachers, my biggest critique. She's also the assistant artistic director with the company I tour and I dance with. But she's always seen more for me than I saw for myself. When I asked her to be a part of the venture that I was starting, I can tell you for a fact, I didn't think that it would have been received the way it was received. I didn't know the depth of what I was doing. To me, I just didn't want somebody else who's younger than me to read the same book I read. That's why I did what I did. I remember in my prime years, I was surrounded by passionate people who just wanted to dance. I didn't care about, dance. When I was growing up, dance wasn't made out for those who had and those who didn't have. It was made out for everybody. And the turnout in the workshop reiterated to me that dance is for everybody. But we as the facilitators, we have to take the dance to everybody. We have to be the ones that throwing kerosene in their fire. Then we can't make it be, this is already a hard career. This is already a career that's looked down upon. We can't make it be even harder if we make them face certain challenges, like a financial challenge, which is why the workshop was free. There's certain things we can avoid in order to have some sort of continuity. Because before my time, as you rightfully mentioned, there was the Rachel Phillips, there's the Cecilia Griffith, there's the Hero. Before that time, it was Cheryl Barnaby. Yeah, they had to do something for it to continue. So why me now can't do the same? And like I'm telling you, I don't want anybody to read a book as similar to mine. Sometimes I say to my mom, boy, can you imagine if I was saving lives? Then this would be, even deeper. But I did not have a walk in the park dance life. From the things I've been told, the things I've been counted out on, that dance was my home away from home, and not all the time I felt like it was my home away from home. If I could be a footprint or even a toe print or even the toenail to somebody else's journey in correcting that, then that's what I want. And I know for a fact it didn't take one person to teach me. It took many teachers to build who I am today, which is why I decided to bring back the person from Jamaica, and which is why the plan is not to stop it there, but have other people come in to give back. There's nothing stopping us from being international. Grenada is often considered a dot. When I went to Scotland to start doing my master's, the person in charge of the program didn't even know where Grenada was. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Mhm.
And there's
Mhm.
moments when it's said, oh, Caribbean people will never be on a level of international status, but that's incorrect. But it
Yeah.
starts with us. We kind of have to start rewriting in that narrative. But that rewriting the narrative is not a pen and paper narrative. It's work on the physical being. It's the exposure to different international techniques or training styles. I'm gonna tell you for a fact, the way I train in Grenada is definitely not how I train in Jamaica or not how I train in the States or how I train in Scotland. It's a different kettle of fish.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I saw the workshop of of one creating awareness, knowledge, giving back, lighting some sort of fire or reigniting fire, because I've had many people who I danced with before and they would have fallen out of love for obvious reasons or not so obvious reasons. Um, boy,
Mm.
I've after the workshop I've gone to pen and paper, to put my thoughts down. Too much,
Mhm.
but it left me feeling like I have a lot more to go.
You do.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel like you're just getting started. Do you
Again,
feel
I'm
that?
saying every 24 hours, I surprise myself. 3-year-old me or 4-year-old me that started to dance at Spice and Dancers
Yeah.
would not believe that I am here. Every day I wake up and my body does things that I'm surprised of. My mind does things that I'm surprised of. Things continue to just fall into line. And this has to be purpose. This has to be God's divine purpose for me.
What would you say is the toughest realization of pursuing your dreams? That I'm sure would resonate with a lot of folks right
Um, Accepting that they kind of have to do it alone. Accepting that there's no mold that you can walk into, or there's no mold that's already preset for you. So your journey may look completely different than somebody else's. Your sacrifice for this dance thing may look completely different than somebody else's. And not all the time people around you understand the why. And because they don't understand the why, sometimes it gets lonely. This was
now.
God's gift to me, and I can't deviate from it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful quote. I can't help but bring it up. And for some reason, I know I'm not going to remember it word for word, but it simply states that, when you have a God given talent, at the end of your life, if you don't use it to its fullest potential, if you don't use it all up and share it, I think God would say, what have you done with the gift that I've given to you? I gave this to you. What are you doing? And it
Yeah.
happens all the time. I see it all the time. There's so many talented folks out there with the passion and the drive and natural talent, natural knack for it. But they hold back and they, stay in that shell and they question things. But a lot of it has to do also, and you've touched on it, people not viewing the value, of what this talent really represents, use it all up. What would you say dance, the passion, the career? What has it done for you, Shaneaka?
There are traits that I bring to my everyday life, that I bring to not me as the performer, but me as the lecturer in this sense, or me as the teacher, that without dance, I wouldn't be able to manage. Things like time management. I remember when I just graduated from Edna Manley College, and I was offered jobs left, right, and center. And not having my degree in my hand um, made it a little bit challenging financially, because the degree would come in after. So I had to do a lot more. And I'm telling you, if I didn't know how to manage my time, sometimes my mother asked me, how you do it? Yeah, from one to the next, and still having the time to attend classes in the night and rehearsal and perform and tour and all these things. I'm a very shy person, generally speaking, but dance has, yeah.
I believe you.
My mother would always say, the person on the stage and the person before you is 20 different people. But dance has allowed me to, I wouldn't say mask, but create a voice or something I can put on where I can not only just use my body to speak, but now I'm speaking verbally because people need to listen. There's some instances that come up at work and you have to be on it. And without that sort of creativity or that sort of, initiative building that dance sort of exposed me to, dance made me realize that the hours that you spend in the studio, that you bust your backside, that you sweat, that you go in pain, that you're always sore. I am sore every day. Dance helped you realize that it doesn't come easy. You kind of have to work for it. And even if it means you work for it and you're uncomfortable now, when you do the performance or when you're on that tour or when you're on that big stage, that's your revelation there. That's your joy there. Yeah? The discipline. The discipline transcends from the studio to how I operate as a person. So I come to Grenada and yeah, I'm on vacation, but there's just certain things I just wouldn't do because a week out of dance is like a year out of dancing. Honestly. And the body is very ungrateful.
Yes. Wow.
But I can tell you, without dance, I wouldn't be
yeah.
me.
You are, yeah. It's really
honestly
shaped everything, that is you. I like that. I like that. Who would you say inspires you, Shaneaka?
I've never been one to have one person to inspire me. But I've always wanted to be successful, whatever that meant. I'm surrounded by a group of people here in Jamaica. And sometimes I have, as human beings, we can't stop but compare ourselves. And I'm like, how are you even my friend? You're so talented. And it's not just people talented in the body alone, but in the mind. Even the person who, Miss Jessica Shaw, who I brought down for the workshop, I often tell her, if I have a piece of your brain to think and choreograph the way you do. But there's this lady. She always calls herself my grandmother. She's my artistic director, actually, Dr. Antoinette Steins. And she's championed a cause. She's fought a fight for dancers, drummers. She's created her own technique that represents Caribbean identity. And if I can aim to come anywhere close to her, anywhere close to my circle right now, because they're excelling, creative, brilliant people, honestly speaking. Humbled to have crossed their paths. So I'd say my inspiration comes from all the people I'm surrounded by constantly who are doing great things. That makes me feel like I should motivate myself to get to what I want in the first place, and that's success.
Where would you like to see dance propel in Grenada? What is your vision for that?
I want to see passion come back. I want to see people who have an insatiable desire just to move. But I also want to see a training ground, an established company that allows Grenadians to have some sort of identity where they can match traditional dance and the highly codified dance of ballet and modern and merge all of them together and have something that represents us as Grenadians, that when we go on an international stage, we don't have to do soca and we don't have to rely on what's traditional to set us apart. But we can go in their home ground or we can go in their playing field and stand out because of that tradition. But what we're doing is exactly what these European people are doing too. That's what I want for Grenada. I want us to take we jab and codify it and find a way to contemporize it. Yeah, I want to hear about the National Dance Theatre Company of Grenada. I want to hear about more dancers coming out of Grenada. I want to hear better dance stories. I want to hear people say, you know, I dance in this space and this space would have taught me, and just list out a bag of things than not have any negative thing to say. I want to hear more dance testimonies and more dance journeys, you know. Because of dance, I would have, or if it wasn't for dance, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
More fire passed down from the facilitators here to the people coming up. Because I believe if I did it, and I always tell people, I wouldn't say I was all of that talented. I really wasn't. There are people way more talented than I was. All I had was passion and a very, very good support system.
Yeah.
I want to hear about more Grenadian dancers going international.
Yeah.
More Grenadian dancers leaving their mark everywhere, lecturing in different universities, bringing their spice. And that spice doesn't have to be the kind of first world country dancing that we're used to. So the belles, it doesn't have to be that. It can be influenced by that, but it doesn't have to be solely that. Yet, far too often, especially from my experience in Scotland, the Caribbean people are only seen as the people who can dance the drums and do the folk dances. And when it comes to the highly codified dances, they don't look for us there. So if 5 years from now, 10 years from now, about 5 more, 10 more Grenadians can, you know, change that narrative, no problem. And also, I wish we have more knowledge. We share more of the possibilities that dance holds and what it can do for an individual. I remember talking to Cheryl Barnaby just before I left. And she's way older than I am, but I know she dances. Like, it couldn't be anything else. Is why she is the way she is. And she's a remarkable woman. Miss Gloria Payne Banfield, remarkable. Case of Abel, remarkable. We want more of, I want to see more of that. I want to feel that energy coming from that jab nation. And it's not, I'm speaking about dance, but it's not limited to dance. It's the entire performing arts. If Jamaica can do it, and Trinidad and Barbados is getting on it, we can do it too.
This has been an amazing conversation, Shaneaka. You know, I was tempted to talk to you about, oh, you've been in this video, I've seen you here, but I really wanted it to be exactly how it turned out to be. I wanted it to be about you bringing your deepest aspirations and your dreams for what the art form needs and what it has done for you and what you firmly believe in your heart that it can do for a lot more others. Right? I really enjoyed your company today, really and truly. What's next for you before we really wrap up and finalize everything here? What's next for you?
Well, I'm in the middle of doing my master's.
Wow, excellent.
But that's Shaneaka the academic. Shaneaka the performer has a goal.
Yes.
I prefer not to verbalize, but
yes.
I will dance and I will be seen dancing. My goal for what's next for Grenada, I have a company called One Unit Dance Grenada. It's being assisted by 2 of my artistic directors, Kamira Phillip and Liana Joseph. And just look out for more with the name Shaneaka Gibbs attached.
Absolutely, absolutely. And congratulations on putting the company together. Congratulations again.
Thank
So I
you
want to
very
wish you
much.
all the best with your preparations for your masters. Go get it, girl. Go get
Thank you
it.
very much.
All the best. And I really want to say a special thank you as well to your mom, Cheryl, for being there. We've been chatting back and forth. She's been, ensuring
Yes,
that
yes.
everything happens the way that it ought to happen. She's truly she's a star as well. But
Yeah,
Shaneaka,
man.
I want to wish you all the best. Stay safe, stay strong, stay fit. I look forward to seeing you when you visit again. Hopefully, when you visit again, we'll get to connect on set and we can get to film you in action doing what you truly love to do. All the best to you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
Welcome back. That was my conversation with Shaneaka Gibbs. She is a dancer, choreographer, and lecturer. She's based in Jamaica. And I really want to say hats off to her again. And for any of you out there who, just view this conversation with Shaneaka and then you really have that passion to pursue your dream, just do it. Just get up and just do it. Make it happen. Roadblocks are all part of the journey. Don't mind the roadblock. Just keep cutting through. I want to thank you again for tuning into this episode, and I want to urge you to stay tuned to the Facebook page. We are working on some new content, bring some new and exciting features to you. And again, to all of you, subscribe to the YouTube channel and also right here on the Facebook page as well. Thank you. We appreciate it very much. Until next time, take care. We'll see you next week, Sunday. God's will. Have a fantastic week ahead. Pursue that dream. Pursue that dream. Stick to your goals. All the best. Bye-bye.